Hello, Internet. Welcome back to another edition of Eric's Corner with the word of the not-so-wise. Just did a video that I wasn't particularly excited about. I hope it turns out okay, and I hope it gets the right attention and all that good stuff. But, you know, the ones that make me very excited, of course, are political relevant issues. So, Peter Strzok, welcome to the show. You just picture his picture right here. So, Peter Strzok was the deputy or assistant deputy director of the FBI back in 2016, who has since then been shit canned, or at least that's the last information I got. So he was pretty much caught red-handed saying that he was going to make sure President Trump didn't win the election. Okay, all this foo-foo about Russian collusion that they're still riding really hard, saying there's no way an election could be rigged. This is the most secure election there ever will be. But when Trump's election was rigged, though, but there's no way we're going to let that happen again. Basically, they said this is the last election that will be stolen. So you admit that it can be stolen. And is what they really mean is we're going to make sure we win from now on. So welcome to another one-party system. This is the pinnacle of election tampering. And one day after the Mueller report, or the Mueller was appointed to the Bloodhound gang that was supposed to prove Russian collusion, Agent Strzok said, oh, well, we're just going to impeach him. One day. He hadn't even started this investigation. And you know, even didn't Pelosi also, well, if Trump wins, we'll just impeach him. Like, oh, winning an election is not an impeachable offense. And he even pulled do you know how many people would have to be involved for me to pull this off? Well, not that many. Election interference. You could literally spend two people, well, spend people in pairs or in triplets to 25 strategic locations to put ballots through machines. And I mean, we have videos of it happening. We have 2,000 mules. We have a stunning amount of evidence against it being a fair and duly election. I mean, you're still screaming Russian collusion. I mean, most secure election in history. You know, they keep saying things are a threat to our democracy. Well, you know, it's a threat to you having power and being in control, controlling the narrative, and your corruption being exposed. That's what you mean by a threat to our democracy. And we have scores of news outlets saying, oh, there's misinformation. Oh, that's a threat to our democracy. Basically, oh, that's other news sources. You can trust ours. And they all said it verbatim, the same scripted almost line. You've seen that YouTube video of them all saying it right on top of each other. And Bowditch, or whatever his name, the director of the FBI, I guess he is, fired Agent Strzok, and it was recommended by the board a 60-day suspension. So he faced no real charges, even though, I mean, you know, you have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt and everything, but I don't feel like it's even been properly investigated or gone enough into. You know, Senator Trey Gowdy of South Carolina grilled him and just ran him up one side and down the other. I mean, he's just so blatantly guilty. And he had all the answers to questions nobody asked. And you know, I'll put this video in the comments if you want. But I've said it before. If you know, Trey Gowdy said, he said, I don't appreciate this line of questions, and I don't appreciate the assistant deputy director of the FBI being in charge of two investigations with so much amiss that we got no resolution on either one of them. He was in charge of the Hillary email scandal, and why wasn't she ever arrested? Why wasn't she ever indicted? You know, all of a sudden, they found declassified things at Trump's documents at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate, and the FBI threw them all over the floor and put pictures on the internet. Like, that doesn't scream very secret to me. And all of a sudden, handling of classified documents is all of a sudden important. Can you not see we're not living by the same standard here? And have you noticed that the Constitution seems to do a lot better job of protecting politicians than it does we the people? The Constitution is not there to protect government. It's there to protect us from government. And, you know, all of a sudden, oh, well, I plead the fifth. I have right to remain silent. I can't, if I testify, I'll get amnesty. Like, well, you're obviously not up to anything if you want amnesty before you'll testify. Oh, they got no problem with the Second Amendment as long as they're highly trained, very expensive armed security is there to protect them. But when I have a gun, it's, oh, Jesus Christ, I just can't be trusted. Well, that's shit. But I mean, if Trump flipped 5 blue states, if Trump got all these swing states, if Biden had Trump trains 90 miles long with 25,000 people there, if Trump's rallies couldn't fill a high school gymnasium and Biden's rallies filled literal football stadiums, if Trump won by 25 million votes or 25 million votes over the allotted amount of registered voters and by more votes than any Republican in history, you would raise some questions. But no, it's duly elected. Nope, it's the most secure election there ever has been, ever will be. We promised. Wink, wink. So not following two sets of, or following the same standards here. So Peter Strzok should have been, I don't know, been held more accountable than he was, I feel like. And there's a lot of people around him. He said, you know how many people had to be involved? I'm paraphrasing. Well, I mean, why aren't some of these people going down also? So anyway, that's my 2 cents on government and its complete lack of accountability and the elitists and them never being held accountable. I mean, he's caught red-handed saying he was going to rig an election. If anybody has the power to do it, it's the FBI. Which it seems to me like they're just leftover cronies from the Clinton administration. And if you can't tell that they are obviously owned by one party of the government, I don't know what to tell you. And, anytime I have these conversations with somebody, they say, well, I'll stop watching Fox News. Like, okay, 50 left-wing news outlets and the one right-wing one is the wrong one and brainwashing. I really don't think so. And plus, like I just cited, Trey Gowdy, I watched this video. I just watched it before I made this video to make it fresh in my memory. It's coming right out of their goddamn mouths. It isn't something that the news is saying they said. I'm watching the video right of these representatives and what they're saying. So, anyway, I'm calling for smaller government. The natural order of the animal kingdom of government is to grow too big and topple over on its people. And, well, don't look now. That's what happened. So, anyway, thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.